We start. Very well. Welcome again. Now in our rooms, we are here in the facilities of the German Chamber in Commerce and Industry in São Paulo. We occupy this whole floor, this 2,000 square meters, with different occupations, and basically you can consider that you are, I think, in a very innovative chamber as well. We have, for instance, our own TV studio, which we inaugurated together with the Deutsche Welle 10 years ago. We also very innovative in the area of personnel administration, and of course we have now a co-working space.
Not working.
Okay. Co-working space on the other side, which we will visit, I think, later on. And now I will hand over to Adilson. Thank you very much for your attention. And I will usually, people of my age do not participate in events of this kind of generation. So, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Thomas. So I want to present Adilson very shortly. So Adilson Ali da Silva Filho, he is Global Open Innovation Manager at Braskem, a big company in the chemistry area. And he is global responsible by open innovation and board member at ENRICH. ENRICH is the European Network of Research and Innovation Centers and Hubs. There is a unit of this centers, of this network in São Paulo as well, in Brazil. ENRICH, it's like the DWIH, but on the European level, okay? But it's very concentrated, really, on the demand of companies and startups. So I will give the stage to Adilson. Thank you very much for coming.
Thanks for the invitation. So good afternoon, everyone. Well, we have just 10 minutes, so it's pretty much an introduction. A few words about what we are doing in open innovation. I'm counting on the Q&A to answer your questions. And I want to be boring presenting Braskem, but I will do so in order to show to you what kind of challenge we have and how we see open innovation helping us, and what we are doing already in Europe, especially in Germany, and in the region where we are located and we have operations, okay? So if you can go to the next one. Should I operate that? Yeah. Okay, so we are a chemical company, and we are concerned about how we help to improve people's lives using solutions from chemicals and plastics, right? So a lot of things that can help, a lot of concerns regarding chemicals and plastics as well. I'll share some of those with you. This is part of the challenge we have. So where we are, right? So you can see that in this petrochemical industry, we are concentrating in the first and the second generation. So we produce basic petrochemicals, chemicals that are used for several applications, and thermoplastic resins, polypropylene, polyethylene, all these, I would say, most common plastics that you see in the packaging, in the households, in the appliances, and other applications, right? So what we call the third generations are our customers. They use this resin to transform. And then there are the final applications, the products and the package, everything that you buy at the market. And then there is also this post-consumption and recycling in this whole chain, right? And this is a pretty much important one for us. We'll talk more about that later, okay? So this is us. We have 41 industrial units. Braskem is among the top petrochemical industries in the world. We have operations in the United States, Mexico, Brazil, and in Germany. We are located in Wesseling and Skopje, okay, producing polypropylene. So we do have offices, industrial units, and we do have these innovation centers, right? We have two located in US. We will have a new biotech lab based in Boston, where part of my open innovation team is. another center in Pittsburgh. We have innovation centers in Brazil, in Campinas, we have in São Paulo, and we have in Triunfo, in southern Brazil, research and development laboratories. And we have also one product development center in Europe, which we are now working to expand and have more R&D activities there as well. I'll share more about that with you as well, right? Okay, so these are our numbers. I'm not. That's part of our challenge, right? So this starts about talking sustainability in the process, the portfolio of sustainable products and solutions for society. This starts to showing you which kind of commitment we have and what are our challenges, right? So there we go. So we want to expand our portfolio of green thermoplastics. We are the biggest biopolymer producer in the world. We produce green polyethylene that we made from sugar cane. We want to expand our portfolio to 1 million tons of thermoplastics and chemical products with recycled content by 2030. We want to prevent 1.5 million tons of plastic waste from being incinerated and taken to landfills, reduce our greenhouse emissions by 15%, getting to carbon neutrality by 2050. So that's the point that I want to arrive with you, right? So those are big challenges we have ahead of us. It's not only Braskem challenge, it's the industry challenge, right? And we do need R&D, we do need partnership to get there. We cannot do that alone, we cannot do that only in our chain, we cannot do that only with the regular partners we have. We need to change the way we think, we need to change the way we do things, and we need to change how we do that and with who we do that. Then startups, institutes, universities, the academia, they play an important role in this. So these are our commitments. I will not go through all of this, so just to show you that we do have 7 dimensions that we promote our sustainable development. This is pretty important, so we are working on having a more circular economy and all the responsibilities that comes with the sustainable development. And we are working across the chain to change that, right? And that's a collaboration effort, right? So then where open innovation start to play a strategic role here, right? So how we get to our partners and jointly with them find the solutions to have a less linear economy, a more circular solutions, how we create more sustainable products. And this is, I would say, is a collaborative effort, right? So how we expand our portfolio of products, right? Part of that, there are 2 main technologies that are important, and you as innovators and you are in the ecosystem, this is important to know, and the recycling is an important part of that for us, right? So mechanically or chemically or advanced in recycling, however you call it, is to have actions that actually start moving the needle, right? But the challenge is still there. But we are working with our partners to establish these technologies and bring disruptive solutions so we can seek the carbon neutrality. We are not there yet, there is a lot to be done, but we need to start working on that and work big time with our partners, right? In terms of innovation, we have more than 300 researchers working with us globally. And we do have pilot plans that simulate all the processes we have, and this helps to speed the developments. Yeah, again, is not enough. We need to bring in new things and bring new partners to simulate the new process that we are developing, right? So that's our technology centers. I will not go much into detail of that because I want to arrive here. So how open innovation can help the transformation, right? And how we disrupt the way we achieve sustainability, and that's our ambition. We want to lead sustainable innovation in the chemicals and plastic to improve lives, right? Where we are working, this is important: circular economy, carbon neutrality, renewable source, sustainable use of plastic, and new materials for biorevolution. So we are building a new biotech center in Boston. We are enhancing our efforts here in Brazil with biotechnology, also in Europe, right? So this is pretty important for us, and then we need to play on the core, adjacent, and transformation solutions to do that, okay? This is, again, how this fits with our ambition, so how we work on next generation processes, how we seek for using CO2 and converting those to chemicals, how we use biomass to get to chemicals. We have a big project to obtain biomag, which is used to produce this PET, right? The bottles we use to drink water and soft drinks. How we have performance materials with more sustainable applications, how we play on recycling, right? So those are the key themes, I would say, that I can share with you, that we are working very hard in collaborative efforts. So open innovation is that, right? So which are the startup channels? We have a lot of those, right? So we use database, we have consortia, we participate in industrial organizations, conference, and we use this process. We use incubation. We have an acceleration program we call Braskem Labs, and we are establishing a corporate venture chemical vehicle to also invest in equity in startups, right? All of this to speed up how we are innovating, right? How we can bring faster and more innovative solutions. So the relationship with the startups in the center of this innovation strategy that I'm sharing with you, together with the other engagement models that we use, right? Joint ventures with other companies, strategic partners, M&As. So the message is we need all of that. We need all of that. This is open innovation. Right? We need internal efforts, we need internal research, we need partners to accelerate internal research, we need partners to improve, to implement the solutions. And that's Braskem Labs, our acceleration program. We have more than 70 companies accelerating. 96% of the companies are still in the market. 30% of those received investments, 30% of those are doing business with Braskem. So this is the acceleration program we have with startups here in Brazil, and we are going global-wise with this effort as well. So we work with partners. Those are just examples: venture capital partners, accelerators, other companies. And this is some numbers we had last year: more than 90 landscapes. We scanned more than 700 opportunities. We are taking around 7 weeks for an idea to a proof of concept, which is, I can tell you, is much better than what we were doing in the past, considering the size of the company. And we'll talk a lot with the startups, right? We have a lot of programs with those. This is my last slide, right? And just to share with you, we are intensifying our efforts in the region. We are based in Wesseling, and you can see the partners that we already have in projects with us. I believe some of them you know, and also the relationship that we're establishing with other companies, including the venture capital companies in that region, right? So this is a strategic location for us in Germany, because in this trilateral region here, you have a lot of concentration of chemical companies and chemical related research efforts, right? So it makes a lot of sense for us to invest more especially on the recycling technologies there, on new materials as well, and also biotech, right? So this would be important for us, and it's a next move on our strategy, which is reinforce our R&D in the region we are already located. Okay. This is very quick what I had. I'm counting on the Q&A to answer your questions, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Adilson. Thank you very much. I think we have started very fast this session. I wanted actually to explain the group again. The goal of this session is to present you, to introduce you to big players of Brazilian economy, so big companies, and to small to startups as well. It was easier to win the support of big companies this time than of the smalls. So we have four big companies, two from Brazil, two Brazilian companies, and two from German companies. and one startup at the end. Only to remember you that the speakers, so the group, it's a mixed group from students, master students, PhD students from Brazil and Germany that are aiming entrepreneurship. Some of them have already a startup, and the others are in the idea phase at the moment. So broad the group. So we have organized that we have two presentations, then question and answer session. So the next one is Carolina Alcoforado. So she will talk about Melhoramentos, the wind of change. Carolina, she's Chief Operating Officer at Melhoramentos, board member, and she is dedicated to designing strategy, new business development, and innovation. Thank you, Carolina, for coming.
Thank you, Marcio. So we are, I believe, the smallest company that's going to present to you today. We are still a company that has a lot of business units, so I can show a wide range of opportunities to work together with startups here. So I believe we can be of some value for today's discussion. Today, Melhoramentos has been through some transformation, and today our motto is actually make it grow to improve tomorrow. That's what we have. So our structure is quite simple. We're just beginning this innovation things in Melhoramentos. So now I am the strategy and COO for the company. I'm directly connected to the CEO, and we have a team that's led by another person that's just focused on innovation. But this is designed to be quick. We have several business units, but we focus the whole innovation things discussed in a smaller group, so we can fast forward a lot of the process and also make sure they keep going. So we are a 132 years old company, founded by German brothers. That's why we are so connected to the chamber. They came to Brazil and they started a company mainly for publishing, and they started growing the business and had a whole verticalized business idea. We are over 400 employees, and one thing that is very important for us is the land bank. We have this huge land bank to develop. It's 150 million meter squares. This is a lot, and in very strategical locations. We have one of our biggest segments is the pulp and paper industry. So we have this pulp plant in Minas Gerais that's basically high yield pulp. We develop products for the paper market, and we are more than self-sufficient in wood supply, so that's quite relevant. We are integrated in that segment. We have a headquarters here in Vila Romana that reflects a bit of our intentions to innovate. This was, we just renewed this historic building from, and with a co-working and space for events and such, so we can bring culture, arts, and also startups to work there with us. I'm gonna tell you a little bit more about it in the end. We are very focused on ESG, obviously, but it sounds like it's the hype of the moment to talk about that. But this is a company that has been doing that for 60 or 70 years. Some things like we have in the social, we have a school that's completely funded by Melhoramentos in the small city. So it's the best way to provide education around, and these people get to get educated in the school, and then they go work for a factory later on. So they have a whole system there to this community. But we also, on the environmental side, because of our origin in the pulp and paper industry, we are very green, environmentally speaking. We have over 50% of our land of preserved Atlantic forest that is way above the legal minimum. but we keep it that way because we think there is a lot of value to add to that. We are 100% FSC certified, which is not really common. It's usually mixed FSC. We are 100% from the trees to the product. Our investments were focused last year on renewable energies, and we are net positive on carbon footprint audited by a third party. So this is quite something that has been done for ages, like in the company. It's not something new. What is new is the governance side. We are a listed company, we are public, but we had a renewal from the board of directors in 2019, so the third pillar of the ESG has been strengthened then. In 2020, we had a full change in the management team. That's when I came in also to turn around the company. We were not great results, we were not having great results. We were turning around this company and trying to bring new perspective for the business units. We have a history. If you're 130 years old in Brazil, you cannot stay just stopped and just do whatever you do. You have to keep changing and keep moving. So we can see throughout the history of the company, there's been a lot of innovation. We were the first toilet paper in Brazil, the first to produce cellulose from eucalyptus here. We had the first color book, all within the businesses connected to paper back then. And then we had divestment of the tissue business, one of the businesses that we had, and then completely reorganized the strategy of the company now in 2020. So we've been working with a lot of firsts in the beginning of the company throughout the history, but now it's a new time for a new first. So we're trying to redirect the business in other ways. I'm going to show you 4 segments that we work with and show you what we are looking for in the market. This we are actively doing. We have our first company is Melhoramentos Florestal, is a high-yield pulp with the forests. We have a publisher that is Editora Melhoramentos. This is a very known brand in the market. We have now a real estate company that we started in this new process that with the new management, and we are also trying new businesses that we are developing with some other startups. I just came back from a trip. I've been a week in Sweden and Finland because mostly they're experts in the pulp and paper industry. So whatever we were studying in Brazil, we could always find a company there that was working something similar. And I've just been a week having 3-4 meetings a day with trying to figure out how partnerships could work with us, so we can bring them to Brazil as well, and also we could develop something that's interesting for the Brazilian market, which we are quite focused today. So we have what we're looking for in each business is here. In Melhoramentos Florestal, obviously it's an industry. We are always trying to find efficiency and automation. Anything about wood and pulp-based products, we know there's a lot of studies in this area, mainly because of our new business that's related there, replacing polluting raw materials. We have a huge market to address, and we can help building greener products since our product is quite green. And sustainability, of course, is one pillar that we are super focused. On the publisher, we are obviously trying to bring it to the next level. We cannot be just a book publisher. We need to bring more. We are so focused on education and also bringing content that has quality content to the families. So we are also looking for virtual interactions, games, and anything that helps us bring a nice platform to access content. Okay, so we're trying any technologies that can access that and bring the whole family, not only the father, not only the kid, but the whole family access to content, and that we can go further with this content, not only in big cities, but we can also go inside the country and diversify and bring knowledge to everyone, basically. In the real estate, we have 150 million meters squared. That's quite a lot for our size, but we have a huge responsibility on how we develop that. We are trying to bring more projects that have the idea of smart cities. We are obviously far behind in this in Brazil. We are trying to look for examples in Europe that are more developed in this area. But smart cities, efficiency on the projects that can reuse water, energy, and things like that, and anything that's prop tech related, technology related to properties and stuff like that. So we have 3 kinds of real estate opportunities, both housing, logistics, and industrial. So we are looking for all these kind of projects and trying to find technology or enhancements that can be done to such a complicated area. The real estate usually is quite a pollutive environment. And in the new business, we have prototypes of some. Finally, we have some prototypes of some materials based on our fiber, based on our pulp, that can replace polluting raw materials. Then could it be durable goods or disposable goods that have high quality and high resistance? So this is one that we are far ahead. In the energy, obviously we're currently looking for more efficiency and also green generation. We keep looking for that. Our areas can help with that because we have such land bank that can help generating green energy. And in the tourism, it's a new business we found because we are enclosed in a space that is very close to a tourism attraction. So we are trying to use that to protect our forest. Once you have a tourism very structured, you can protect the areas, the entrance, how people will use that space, so we can protect the forest that we mentioned before. And what we currently work with the startups, quite simply telling you here, we have joint developments. So some of them we make funding for studies and prototypes that connects to one of our goals that we mentioned beforehand. Partnerships, some are more advanced and already have a product. They want to come to Brazil, so we are trying to bring them here, be their Brazilian arm, or develop something together. And a co-working, we have that headquarters is brand new. The pandemic kind of set us back a little bit in that time. But right now we are ready to bring some startups that are connected to our businesses, because we can be close together, have the senior management to help develop more substance for the new business. So that's basically it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I did a mistake. So I said that we have 3 German companies and 1 Brazilian. No, we have 2 Brazilian companies. Melhoramentos is a Brazilian company. Sorry. Yes. And we have now 2. No. So after the question and answer session, the 2 Germans. So we have now then 10 minutes for questions. So as you could see, so the Braskem and Melhoramentos, they have programs to work together with young entrepreneurs, with startups. So you can then order your questions for both speakers. Who wants to start? Do you want to come both here to the front side, maybe? Who wants to start? Okay, both there.
Hello, I'm Zina from the German Cancer Research Center, but I work with the crayfish, so it's not related to cancer. My question would be to Mr. Silva, right? First, what are the requirements to access your accelerator?
Yes. Yeah. So we are working on sustainable solutions more broadly, right? So everything that can have an impact on the social part or on the sustainable development part usually are the main themes that we work on
regardless of the country where I come from?
Yeah, so today our program is running in Brazil, and now we are working to expand the program outside Brazil. But today we have acceleration only in Brazil, and we are moving, and the next step is to have it outside Brazil.
Thank you, because it sounds quite interesting.
But just so to know, we expanded this year for Latin America, so we have a Chilean and other startups in the region, but more broadly, I would say in the upcoming years or upcoming months, hopefully, we are aiming to have also a proof of concept of our acceleration in US this year, and then, of course, Europe and other locations.
And a more business-related question, you mentioned that you use sugarcane for bioplastics.
Yes.
Have you ever considered kiting? The material out of, crayfish, shrimps, insects, whatever, the shells?
Yeah, it's difficult for me to say that we didn't saw that or didn't analyze that, but we never tried. So it might be something to...
I have a prototype of kiting-based plastic with me, so
there
if you want to try it.
There we go. I like prototypes.
Charlotte?
Hi, my name is Charlotte, and I have a question for Mr. Silva too. I'm from a startup called Ritec, and we are developing a chemical recycling process for PET, and we can treat multi-layer materials, but the process is selective for PET, and it also works for polyester textiles. And we get back terephthalic acid and ethylene glycol. And my question is, are you interested in the treatment of PET, or can you imagine to expand your portfolio to PET?
Yeah, so today we do not produce PET, but we are interested in technologies that can help with, overall recycling, because I would say we don't have only PET to recycle anywhere there, right? So we have all sort of plastics, so if your technology can help with that in some regards. And we know that the polyesters are different from the polyolefins in terms of the difficulty to do that, but we are always looking, right? So if you have a new solution that you think can help with that, we are more than interested in to take a look at that and discuss that with you.
Okay, because we developed the process, and now we want to implement our process in a pilot plant, and we are seeking funding for the plant. So thanks.
Okay, good to know. So let's go.
Next one. Here, okay.
Okay, thank you. My question is for Melhoramentos this time, because Timm is a social startup that works with deaf people. And when you talked about the shared content, there are a lot of deafs that have difficulties on learning Portuguese, and we found a way to better help them to learn this language, the Portuguese in case. Through the vibrations, you translate any kind of sound, music, or even people talking for them in vibrations in the cell phone. And my interest, as you say, if it's the kind of thing Melhoramentos is interested, how can I contact you for further communication, if the partnership is possible?
I think it's very interesting. You could contact me. I can give you my contact info, because I think it's all connected to our publisher and what we're trying to do, take it to virtual world and bring content to more people. So I think it's great.
Thank you.
Next one. We have time. Oh. Ivan.
So my question is for Carolina as well, and I'm interested, you said that you are almost or already self-sufficient in the cellulose sector, and you also preserve a lot, right? So are you also work with carbon credits at this moment, or you have any project in this direction for the near future? Yeah, and actually I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Ivan, and I'm from University of Cologne. I'm working in the agricultural sector.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. We are, but we still don't find the legislation in Brazil so clear. We are net positive, so we could definitely sell credits, and we have 50% of our forest just preserved, so we could keep that way. We are trying to find foundations or other sources that would like to adopt our river streams and things like that, because we have over 140 water mines in our lands, you know. So this is a lot, and we are preserving all that by ourselves. We could also give this more relevance and bring it to other foundations that are interested in working with us. So we're going through the foundation side for now, but we are currently looking at that. We have a sustainability manager in our company, because this is so important for us, and she's actually taking a look at all this. Okay?
Next. We have time? Here. Victoria.
My question is to Adilson. I want to know if Braskem already evaluate the use of microorganisms that consume CO2 to reduce the gas emission, or this type of technology isn't applicable to industry?
Yeah, we are particularly interested in all technologies that can help to, you know, capture, utilization, or storage of CO2, right? So since renewable sources to really using CO2 to do something, to go to chemicals, or if there is a connection with all the biotech lines that we are working on, right? So yeah, I mean, I'd say in terms of topic, it's in our interest to understand better what you have.
Once more. No? So thank you very much, both. So I want to invite you to stay with us until the end of the program. After all presentations and discussion, we will have a tour to the co-working place of the German Chamber and the Department of Technology and Sustainability. And after that, we will go down to visit DWIH, our German Center for Research and Innovation, and we will have coffee there at the end, about 4:30, 5 o'clock. Okay? So, then we will start the second session, but I see that Pavlos is have not arrived yet. So we will start with Cássia. It was the first one in the program as well. But I hope that Pavlos comes in time. So Cássia Klöpsch will talk about innovating with SAP. Cássia is the Customer Innovation Principal at SAP Latin America and the Caribbean. Is responsible for co-innovating with the most strategic customers in the country and helping to leverage innovation inside the company. So, Cássia.
Thank you, Márcio. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here in this thank you. Okay, this afternoon with you all, and I hope to clarify here like a little bit of SAP and innovation. So, okay, let's talk about SAP today. I don't know if you all know about SAP. SAP is a German company from Waldorf. And well, here are some figures and facts about our company. So, first of all, what is our mission? Well, our mission is to help the world run better and also improve people's lives. We innovate, to help our customers. We are like a 50-year-old company, and we are global. Let's say like a global network of customers, partners, and employees and thought leaders. You're gonna see like our numbers, and it's like I always get like amazed about like how big. So we have more than 437,000 customers in more than 190 countries. more than like 105,000 employees in 130 countries, and an annual revenue of 27 billion, in 2020. Also, this is interesting for you. We have more than 22,000 SAP partner companies globally, so this is like how most of our startups start like partnering with SAP. More than 200 million subscribers in our cloud user base. And also we are number 1 in Dow Jones Sustainability Index for more than 14 years. So just now got some figures and facts for you, just to get to know a little bit of SAP. We have 87% of global commerce is generated by SAP customers. Around 77% of all transactions in the world, they go through an SAP software. So 82% of all worldwide consumed coffee and tea in the world, of course worldwide, are produced by SAP customers. Also, 77% of the beer, in the world is produced by SAP customers. Well, so every 60 seconds, our customers generate 74 millions of the global GDP. We work for 58% of the countries members of UN, and also 82% of the world's of medical dispositives are also produced by our customers, and 78% of the food in the planet. This is our SAP Labs network. So of course, to build all this software for companies all around the world, we have more than 20 laboratories of development in the whole world. We have one here in the south of Brazil, in a German region called, in the Rio Grande do Sul, in São Leopoldo. And then we have, all over, many in Germany, we have in France, all these countries here, China, Russia. Now Russia we're not working anymore. So Hungary, India, Ireland, Israel, we closed all the business with Russia, all of you know that. And here are some customers in Brazil that we have. We have from big companies, let's say 99 from 100 companies of the biggest companies work with SAP. And this just for you to have an idea here in Brazil. And I had a whole history about how did we get here 50 years later, but this is a sum up. So the company started in 72, when the technology was more utilized for professional use. So this is the idea of the first ERP that was built to control finances inside the company. So all the finances data, you can see here. And then we, in the 90s, we were more a company towards transactions. And you can see here a little bit of the user interface, how it was and how it is today. So we improved a lot. And actually, in the 20s, we had the digital company. Now we are going through the strategy of intelligent company. And that's why we need startups, and we need companies to help us develop intelligent companies for the world. And we are moving towards the autonomous company, so building technology to let all the companies run by themselves. So this is just for you to have an idea. We have, if you are developing softwares, we have SAP Fiori, which is our design system. So you can already build everything in our, in our user interface to get it ready for integration and implementation with our customers. And this is in our SAP Business Technology Platform. It is our cloud platform to build innovation. Many of our customers also have developers to build in this platform, but also many of our partners, they build solutions in that. And SAP for S/4HANA is our ERP for like big companies, and B1 is towards like it is more focused on like small SMEs, small and medium enterprises, like are considered the most innovative ERPs in the market. So just for you to understand a little bit of our strategy. We have here, we started, with finances, and the company started growing, building solutions for manufacturing, for logistics, for all the departments inside the company. And now, we have the strategy of the intelligent enterprise, so we are combining all the data that comes from experience. So like I would say, like for example, the data that users, the ones that are, the customers that are buying actually, like in the store and everything like that. So we are, the X&O data, we are combining data from the operational, from the plants, from our customers, with the experience data. So we call that X&O strategy. All combined in our business technology platform, in our cloud platform. How can we help you? So we have a venture capital company, inside SAP. It's called SAP IO. You can go sapio.com. And okay, 4 minutes. And we have we have acceleration programs. And this is a global program, so you can find it worldwide. We have a focus now in Brazil. It's one of the countries that they are, focusing. But you can look. You have programs. We have focus areas. I'm going to talk a little bit later about the focus areas. And also, so here you can become a partner, or you can build with us, and or maybe be invested. Receive investment from SAP. Then we have this worldwide. Here in SAP Labs Latin America, we do have the Unleashed program. This is our acceleration program. So just for you to have an idea, we have SAP experts from different industries. It is important to say that we work with more than 23 industries. So we have, if you have a solution for one company, one industry, we have them helping you to develop your product and become become a partner from SAP. And we had, this was some idea of numbers, 20 experts, SAP experts dedicated to this program last year, more than 40 hours that were delivered for mentoring for each startup. And 4 months each cycle, with the startups, and 41 startups were mentored since 2019. Also, we built the base for you to get in contact with more than 400,000 customers, so they can discover, they can get in touch with your solutions. This is an idea. This is SAP Store where you can insert your products. And this is the SAP Business Technology Platform. Some years ago, we didn't have a very strategy focused on startups, so we didn't have free tiers to start developing with SAP. Now we do have. So it is important to say that you can get there and start using SAP in a free tier. And also, you can develop in one click. Here we have OpenSAP, a website full of courses for you to have content about coding and about technologies from SAP, for free. Now many courses. And if you do have solutions for diversity and inclusion, this is something that we are looking for, many human resources management and helping our customers to be more diverse and inclusive. And also, if you do have solutions for sustainability, helping our customers to be more sustainable in ESG, we are also looking at it. So we are very concerned and committed to sustainability and investing a lot in solutions for that. So this is it. Thank you so much. Here are my contacts. Get in contact, and thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Cássia. I have a short question.
Yeah.
These numbers that you showed, so 41 startups that was mentored, is the number from Brazil, not
Yeah.
worldwide?
Yeah,
Okay.
from Latin America, from SAP.
From Latin America.
Yeah, because, well, this lab, SAP lab, is in Brazil, but it attends all Latin America. You know, so the 41 startups are from Latin America, but the SAP lab is here in Brazil. Yeah.
Thank you very much. The lab is in São Leopoldo, Rio Grande do Sul, close to Porto Alegre. I will be there in June by the inauguration of the second phase. I think we can say second phase of the lab. So, meanwhile, we have Pavlos here with us, Pavlos Dias from Faber-Castell. The title of his presentation is How a 260 years old company has worked and invested in early stages. And so about Pavlos, a very short. So he has started his career as an entrepreneur in distance education, and later following an executive career in large education companies. And at Faber-Castell, a German multinational company that has reinvented itself to make the world a more creative place, creating products. That's very marketing sentence, and services that help children and adults to unleash all their creativity. So, Pavlos, welcome. You have 10 minutes.
Okay. So, do I need to use the microphone or because it's recorded?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I will not use any presentation because it's only 10 minutes. So I will just talk a little bit with you guys, and because I believe the most interesting part will be the questions itself. So first of all, it's not a marketing phrase; it's a purpose. It's different. It's a different thing, right? So Faber-Castell, I'm sure you all know the German ones and the Brazilian ones for different reasons, probably. Who are the German ones and who are German ones? Just okay, good. So I don't know if you know that, but in Brazil our brand is a little bit different than in Europe. Here it's basically it's much more focused on the back to school material, so basic education material. So everybody in this room that grew up in Brazil had the chance to use Faber-Castell some moment of his life, right? I don't know if it's exactly the same in Germany. I believe it's pretty much the same, right? But also has a very strong brand in the artist part, and you know, this more like a premium brand, right? So in Brazil, it's a little different because we are a premium brand in Brazil, but it's more like the kind of brand that is premium, but you have a way to buy. You know, it's not like an iPhone. If you are poor, you don't have a way of having an iPhone. But if it doesn't matter which class you are, even if you are not that rich, you will have the chance to buy a Faber-Castell for your son, and it's something that will mark your childhood. I'm from a very poor family, and I had some Faber-Castell, and it was like it was always something to be happy about it, and to actually help us to develop our creative mindset and everything else, right? So this part of the company, I don't need to waste my time explaining. You know, you all know what's Faber-Castell, 260 years old, so almost 3 centuries. It's a lot of time, right? And you also know that we are a German company. Our headquarters is in Stein, close to Nuremberg, right? Germans, right? Nuremberg, okay. And here in Brazil we have 90 years, so even if you take only the time in Brazil, we are a very old company, right? And but how can a company that's 206 years old keep going? What's the future of this company? Every time I do that, I see your faces and I see you thinking, okay, this is a company that sells pencils, pens, and all this physical stuff. but the world's going digital. The kids are going digital. The education is going digital. So what's the future of this company? So that's why we created the innovation area inside of the company, exactly to answer that. Not only that, because we don't believe that pen and pencils will not exist anymore in the future, but obviously we will not grow as a company based on these products anymore. You know, we are not going to double or triple our size selling this, basically for two reasons. The size of this market is not growing. The number of kids in Brazil in the next 10 years will not be bigger than the kids in the last 10 years. It's the same thing that happens in Europe. The population is getting older, so we have less children coming each year, right? So the size of the market is not growing. And the second thing is that the world's going digital. So and also the third thing is that we are a red leader in the market, so we don't have too much space to, you know, take from our competitors market share. So it is complicated. So we decided to start an innovation area. This area exists for about 7 years now. In the way we are now. Obviously, Faber-Castell as a company has innovation for a much longer time, but focused on P&D, research and development in English, sorry, and obviously creating new products every year or every 2 years. You have some new product from the company, but it always existed. But in the last 7 years, we started to look at this as a different perspective. What can you do that will move on this company to a digital world, that will enable us to create a more creative world, but not only based on the products we already have, but in the whole other possibilities. So we started to explore two innovation theses. The first one is creativity in all its forms, so a creative economy, things like developing or design or marketing. It's all creative economy, right? And also through education, because it's the first thing. It's the place where we already are. So Faber-Castell is a brand of education, but most important than that, it's there especially in the basic education, the K-12, that we can influence more the creative perspective of people. I don't know if you ever heard about this, but there is a research made by NASA where they measure the creativity of people. They measured the creativity of people, the kids with 5 years old. 98% of them showed a grade of high creativity. It means something like Steve Jobs creative people. 98% of kids around 5 years old has the potential to be a Steve Jobs. But they did the same test with kids on 10 years old, and just 32% of the kids still had the highest level of creativity. And with 15 years old, just 12%. So that's why also we are innovating in this K-12 area, because there is the moment where we can influence more the creative perspective of people, that we can help to create a new generation of problem solvers, of people that has strong social skills, soft skills. So that's the whole vision of the innovation area. And how is this becoming true? So basically, two different pillars. The first one is what we call venture building. That's the area where we create new business inside of Faber-Castell with our own resources, with our own people, to go to the market. So in this area, we created something called the Creative Learning Program. This is a program we sell to schools, where they apply this. Okay, they apply this on the school to help kids to develop their creativity. So we developed a platform of online courses just to work in these creative skills. And now the most recent product is something called Hora da Invenção in Portuguese. It's invention time in English. It's a product that we are aiming the families, where the kids in home will participate in sessions, creative sessions with kids all around Brazil. based on challenge. So it's a whole kind of new things that we are creating inside of Faber-Castell. And the second pillar, it's what we call corporate venture capital. The market called this, it's not something we created. So corporate venture capital, where we are investing in startups. Which kind of startups? Special education, okay? So we needed to start somewhere. We decided to start with education. So we are investing in this kind of startup, EdTechs. We already invested in 3 startups. We started this program end of 2019, and it's going very well. We are looking right now at moving this to a Latin American territory as well, because nowadays it's only in Brazil. And I think just to finish here, Brazil is a huge piece of Faber-Castell. I don't know if you know that, but even though Faber-Castell is a very strong brand in Europe and in the rest of Latin America, actually more than 50% of the revenue of the company comes from Brazil. And that's why the innovation area started here, that's why the corporate venture capital started here. And right now, like 6 months ago, the company decided to move the vision of innovation that we have in Brazil to the rest of the world. So the Brazilian innovation team is what we call the Center of Excellence in Innovation, and that's why we are now bringing our process and ideas and strategies to be applied in the other regions of Faber-Castell. So this is a 10 minutes brief about what we have been doing, and I hope you have good questions.
Thank you, Pavlos, very much. You can stay here, and I forget, and it was first Cássia, sorry, Cássia. So I ask you to stay here and to come to the stage. And and we can open the session, questions and answer. So who wants to be the first one? So we saw a lot of options of digital world. I know that some of you are working digital as well with proposals in this area. You, okay? Rafael.
Thanks again. For Faber-Castell, I'm too. I work with digital inclusion, and we can work with special education for deaf children. And I want to hear from you some examples of what kind of startups were invested by Faber-Castell. Like they work with what kind of special education?
It's a great question, thanks. So I will separate this answer in 2 parts. So the first one is what we have been doing with any kind of special education. That's a very important part, I believe, and we have 3 areas in the company that are trying to work with this kind of things. So the first one is the sustainability area that is responsible also for all kinds of social and social programs. So we have some programs run by this area where we are trying to help special communities that work with special kind of students and this kind of thing. And the second part is our marketing. So everything related to that we can do with using our brand, but doesn't have the meaning, the result of revenue, that's not driven by result, revenue result, have been done by the marketing area. And the third area is our area. That's where we do everything that's related to revenue. So creating new business and creating revenue. So obviously we receive lots of ideas around special education. It's a complicated thing because as in our area we are looking at startups that we can help to grow and become a huge business. So if the business is only driven by impact, it's very important, but we do that through the sustainability and marketing area. And our area is really driven by companies that will create a huge business round. So just to give an example here, 3 companies that we invested. The first one works with the back office of the schools. So how can integrate technology and become a better digital environment for kids, teachers, families, and everybody. The name of the company is Layers Education. And the second company, it's called Jovens. Young Genius, and they work with a gamified environment to help children to develop exercises. So, but it's still something that we are trying to manage. How can we also create impact, but with this view of becoming a digital educational area, you know, with the business-driven, revenue-driven.
Thank you.
Next. A question?
Child, are you shy?
Tired? And you? So, I don't have...
It was all clear then.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pavlos, Cássia. So, then I hope that our next speakers are already on waiting for us, because they are not here. They will participate online. The first one is from a startup from the University of São Paulo, a spin-off. So, and we should call now Marcos Oliveira Jr. He's the CEO and founder of Fluke. Fluke is a telecommunication market. Hello, Marcos, can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Are you hearing us?
Yeah.
Yes. And can you speak something? So.
Hello.
Okay, we are hearing you as well. So Marcos then is the CEO and founder of Fluke, a startup in the area of telecommunication, right?
Yeah.
So Marcos, you have then 10 minutes to talk here to our audience. These are young people like you, innovators from universities in Germany and from USP. So we are very anxious to hear you now. Okay, you have 10 minutes, Marcos.
Okay. I'm going to go through a quick presentation here, and after that could open space to questions. Let me share my screen. Are you seeing my screen? Okay. So, hello everyone, I'm Marcos, founder and CEO at Fluke. Fluke is a full digital mobile operator in Brazil. We already have 50,000 customers and $300,000 in MRR, growing 20% every month. Brazilians hate the experience of using traditional mobile carriers here. They kind of force you to pay for data packs you don't need and make it impossible to switch your plans. So Fluke offers a better customer experience, and that's why we have a CAC that is 60% lower and a lifetime that is 70% higher than the traditional carriers here. We have the best network, and customers are switching to us because of the service and flexibility to build their own customized mobile plans. We are doing telco what new banks did in banking in Brazil, something similar what NA26 made in Germany, I guess. So we are Fluke. We were invested by Y Combinator, Google for Startups, and 2 other unicorn founders. And talk some things about product. We kind of rank the infrastructure of the incumbents here in Brazil to focus on customer experience. Something similar with 1&1 in Germany. Our main product points here are going to be personalization. So here, the customers have the autonomy to see how much they're paying, how much they're using, and after that, they can change the mobile plan each way they want. The second point here is the customer care. So you are able to solve everything through the app without middlemen or waiting jingles. And the third one, we have one of the best prices here in Brazil because we are really more efficient in costs on customer acquisition and customer service. So we are able to be cheaper to the customers. I guess this is a really quick presentation of Fluke. I'm very open to questions or something like that.
So Max, that was really very fast. It was like a pitch. Thank you very much. We should do the questions directly because we will not have the both later. I have a first question, Marcus. Can you tell us how old is your startup and which were the biggest difficulties that you had to start the startup?
Okay. We started thinking about this business something about 5 years ago. We were at the college thinking about what we were going to build in the future. So we were looking for a big problem and a big market. So we found in telecom we have one of the most hated companies in Brazil. So that there was a good opportunity. We stayed something about 3 years basically studying this market and talking to people of the market. So we started really working with customers 2 years ago. We are working with customers 2 years. And I guess that the main difficulty that we had at the beginning was to convince the incumbents to rent the infrastructure, as we are. I am 24 years old now, and my co-founders are young as well. So our main difficulty in this beginning was how to sell, how to show to the incumbents that we are responsible and we know what we are doing. So it was the main difficulty at the beginning to get these credentials or something like that.
Okay, thank you, Mark.
Did it make sense?
Thank you, Marcus. Some question from the audience? No? So, Rafael has a question.
Hello, Marcus. I'm Rafael. The first question is, how did you find out about this problem? Did you hear it from like a friend or a family? Because I never heard from a family like problems with sorry, I forgot the word in English. But the mobile planes. I never heard in the countryside here in Brazil, in Porto Ferreira, never heard about this problem. So how did you find it?
Okay. At that time, I was an intern in I don't know how to say in English. I was an intern at Stone, payments startup in Brazil, and they use the SIM card to operate the vending machines. So they used to have a lot of problems with the mobile carriers. So I started studying this market because of this trigger. But then I started looking to this market here. We have an annual churn in Brazil that is about 45%. So we are in a big country, so it's about 90 million people are changing their mobile carriers every year. And when I look to other most developed markets, for example, Europe or the US, we are going to see something between 20 and 25% of annual churn. So the annual churn in Brazil is really bigger than the other markets. So that's one of the things that made me choose this problem.
I see. And the second and final question is that first, I'm a lover about innovation, and I read a book named The Prosperity Paradox, where you have the marketing create innovation and a comparison about with incremental innovation and sustainable innovation. And one of the companies they used as an example was a telecommunications company in Africa, where they created a new market with the telecom, because in the Africa they don't have any telecom, so they created. Do you think I were creating a new marketing about these plans? Because to personalize the plans, it was something I never heard about, and it can be like developed by your customer, because you could create a culture where the people choose what plan they want and build a whole community about it. Do you ever thought about that?
Okay, nice. Unfortunately, I didn't read this book yet, but about that, I guess we are not creating in Brazil because we are in a saturated market. Almost everyone has a phone plan or something like that. But I guess we are one of the first ones to really hurt the customers, because we are doing really simple things that customers are saying they need for a long time. So it is really simple to, for example, the main complaint, again, the traditional carriers in Brazil are about improper charges. It's really simple to solve before starting with a good technology or something like that. So we are at this beginning doing the basic, essentially the basic. I guess at the beginning of next year we are going to start new solutions using this connectivity. For example, Internet of Things for customers, or other solutions using 5G.
That's awesome. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rafael. Next question? No? I had a question, but I don't remember it. Yes, so I want to know how big or how large is the company yet, and if you have more private people as customer or companies as customers.
Okay, now at the beginning we are totally focused on customers, so we are not going on enterprise yet. We are starting some pilots, but just in the beginning. Almost everyone are B2C customers. And now Fluke has exactly 100 employees with these 50,000 customers.
Okay, thank you. More? No? So then Marcus, so thank you very much. Yes, we hope your Fluke will be very successful in the next years and months. Okay, thank you very much for your participation. So the next one is already online. Where is the information about him? One moment. Here. So the next speaker is from the Brazilian company Natura in Curitiba. So we have here online Thadeu Junqueira. He is Open Innovation Manager. Maybe some of you in Germany has heard about Natura because it's a company with stores and business in Europe as well. And the title of the talk is Natura's R&D Open Innovation Framework and Case. Hello, Thadeu. Are you hearing us good? Well, no?
Yes.
Okay, we can hear you as well. Okay, Thadeu, you have 10 minutes to present Natura and your work in open innovation and what opportunities you have for young innovators from Germany and Brazil to work together.
Great. So first of all, thank you for the opportunity. I apologize not to be present there with you. We may have other opportunities for that. I'm already starting to share the screen. So I'm the Open Innovation Manager for the R&D specifically. And I'm going to tell a little bit about Natura and how we do that operation and some case and framework. So the group Natura Co has grew some years ago once we started some acquisitions, and AHK, the Body Shop, and Avon became part of the group together Natura brand. So in Europe, the Body Shop is one of the most famous brands there that we have as footprint, but we also have the interaction of the other brands as well. And we expect to be the best beauty company for the world because we have a good relationship with the environment, all the social impact and so on. So just to bring an idea about our footprint, we are already in 100 countries. We have 7.7 million of representatives or beauty consultants. So we have this direct sales model of selling. So we have a really good interaction with the final end consumer. And more than 3,700 stores combined with that footprint. So that's how we interact with our final consumers. Oops, I'm sorry. So we have a social engagement with many different associations. So we are the largest B Corp in the world with open capital and stakeholders, and we are linked with really aggressive goals of sustainability, and we do a lot of work on that. And based on that, we have some goals straight to 2030, and a vision for 2050 that we expect to contribute a lot with the circularity, all the human rights, and fight the climate crisis based on Amazon protection and value creation. And how we do that? Now I'm not talking anymore about the Natura & Co group and only Natura brand that I'm accountable for this R&D open innovation. We have different divisions to have the ownership of each brand. So going deeper with the Natura brand, we have that reason of being, of both looking to the environment as well-being, and at the same time we also take a look inside ourselves, and that the relationship of the Bem-Estar Bem, the well-being well, that we have as main mission since for more than 30 years, and the company now has a bit more than 50 years of history. And to bring an example for you about what we do to achieve that, I bring the Ecos brand, that is one of our Natura brands that is really linked to Amazon forest. And we bring two examples and cases of our internal R&D. For example, Ukuba was a kind of tree that was usually cut down to get the wood or other parts to do brooms. And once we discovered that the fruit of that plant has really good cosmetic value, we helped the community to preserve all those forests and specimens to become a good and valuable value chain for us to get the cosmetics. And the same thing we had with the Papauá, for example. We went deep into a community, and we understood that some of the local women, they use it to get some fruits to use into artisanal handmade combination that they use it to make their hair a bit more stronger. And then we decided to become that after lots of scientific research and so on. We did a different fruit, a different product from that. And we don't do that only by the own scientific team that Natura has, both in Cajamar, into São Paulo region, and Belém there in Pará. So we also believe into the open innovation model, the same relationship that we do with our consultants, we also do with our research partners. So for that, we have two main programs, the Natura Campus and Natura Startup, that manages the relationship well with all the stakeholders, and helps us to feed our technological planning and all the fundamentals we do to manage all that network, to be able to accelerate the technology acquisition and bring different solutions for our customers. So just going a bit faster, we have a learning curve of 20 years doing open innovation inside the company. I'm here for less than 2 years, but the company itself is already into this learning curve for 20 years. And we started the first of those programs in 2006. With the Natura Campus specifically focused into interaction with all the tech centers and the academic scientific public. And later, 10 years, we also launched the startup program to get closer with those specific new technological based companies that were born at that time. And we have different models of doing those interactions. So we are always learning new models of doing those interactions with hackathon missions, locally, internationally, and so on. Just to bring some real examples of what this open innovation work has already done, I bring here the example of the agricultural and the agroforest that we have of palm, the oil that we use here in Brazil. It usually is cultivated as a monoculture of palm. And when we take a look into this other way, we combined a consortium of different plants to do a much better environmental relationship into the forest, even connecting and bringing as better place for animals, microorganisms, and so on, and being a more productive and with good quality of the oil, besides the sub-products and the soil that is helping a lot. Such kind of development took us 15 years to launch the end of last year, the first product that feeds completely with such kind of ingredient. And that product was a line of shampoos and conditioning for hair, and we have some other products that we use such ingredients to manufacture those. And we also combined into that same line of products, the Biome, technology that we partnered with a startup there from California, and they have the technology to convert the biomethane through bacteria and create a biomaterial, bioplastic, that we use it for such kind of accessories, generating a positive impact into the CO monoxide of carbon that we can extract from the atmosphere, reducing the greenhouse gases and so on. So that's one example of those. And the biotechnology is not limited to that. We have also another case that some of you are coming from Germany. I select this case that we partnered with Silva, that is a German company, a startup that they had a protein silk-like that we could connect with them, select that ingredient, and we developed a product line to help to create these products with specific benefits for hair health. And just to finalize, the idea is to explain really quickly in 10 minutes, but I'd like to invite you into another opportunity to go closer. We have this innovation center that we launched in the end of 2020 to be closer of the community and bring our developments to a next level. And we have our open innovation lab there for us to do co-creations and so on. I'd like to invite you all, once you have any good idea that you consider that we can help somehow to become that a reality. We have a site, the naturacampus.com.br. You can see the main things that we prioritize to receive proposals. You can do that anytime in the year, and we will evaluate and get back to you. And once we do a good matchmaking, we can co-create and generate a new product or experience and so on. Sorry for telling everything here in a rush, and thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you, Thadeu. I will stay here, then you can see me in the lights. There I am in the shadow, you cannot see me well. So it was very interesting. I didn't know that the Body Shop, it's a trademark of Natura. So, well, and I think everyone in Europe knows Body Shop. I have a question, a first question. Some years ago, I saw other presentation of the director of innovation, and she told that time that it was an aim of Natura to substitute all products from animal origin with vegetable origin. How is the status of this change?
We are already 90% of that goal achieved, and we have one key ingredient to be replaced, and we are almost there.
Thank you. I think that's very
big challenge.
It's a fine, very good goal. Have you questions after this interesting presentation? No? So I will have I have another question. Thadeu, especially for the young entrepreneurs here, can you talk a little more, explain more about how they can interact with Natura? You have programs, how you work together with startups?
Great.
Only in Brazil or in Germany, for example, in Europe as well?
we have no restriction about the region the startup is. And we brought that example of a German startup, the Silva, that is currently a supplier. And the channel used to be the Natura campus that you can go into our website, you subscribe, take a look into the terms to have your idea protected, and then you submit that for us, and we as Open Innovation team, we do a quick evaluation, get to the experts that we have into Natura, and once it gets a good fit, we get back to customize and do a tailor-made project of co-creation. We don't have a standard of interaction, because we understand that the different ideas or maturity levels of technologies might need some specific needs. So we always do a kind of project to bring the solution from one technology level of maturity to another. We do all the discussions about resources, IPs, and so on, to assure a good relationship, to assure as well that the startup is healthy, being able to supply us for a cosmetic, and always then possible to escalate that to other industries and so on. That's a symbiotic program that we try to generate combined value for the startup, the tech centers, and the company. For example, we did a challenge last year, the Emerge Amazonia, that we were looking for technologies anywhere that could help us to make an ingredient, helping that into its value chain, or becoming a new ingredient to generate new products. And we did that in partnership with a pharmaceutical and the food industry, and we were looking for technologies, and the best ones we helped them to spin off as a transfer, a technology transfer strategy from the academic environment to a startup, and trying to create and generate new business based on the scientific research that they have there.
Thank you, Thadeu, very much. Meanwhile, do you have a question? No? So, Thadeu, then thank you very much for your participation. Okay, and nice to have you here online. Next time, better here in the stage. I think the connection is then better, but we can hear you very well. Thank you, Thadeu. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think and for the agenda, you have a really interesting week. Enjoy. And
coming to São Paulo, come to visit us.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So,
bye.
That was then our part with speakers, with presentation. We know there's very long with speeches. That's why we have organized the week that with presentations in the morning and in the afternoon with other activities. But today we cannot, it was not avoidable. Yes. But in the next days we will have more activities in the afternoon that you don't need to stay hearing presentations along the day. But you are doing well. I know jet lag and so on. Now it's 9 o'clock in Germany. Okay, so we have some water and coffee here, but we will go in some minutes to a tour to the AHK, to the co-working space, and then we will go to the DWIH, and there we will have coffee as well, and something to eat before you go back to the hotel or the other stuff, you go home. Okay? Thank you very much.